Georgia's for public transportation actually works. Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Reports. Today I wanted to go over why poor public transit, or rather uncomfortable public transit in Georgia, actually kind of works, and it actually kind of makes your life a lot easier if you are living in Georgia. So oftentimes when you look at countries, you think that their public transit is, well, you really don't look at their public transit. When I moved to Europe, I was not really looking at that within my decision. However, I found that Georgia specifically was very easy to get around. And especially if you speak Georgian, at least to some extent, it becomes extremely easy to go from one city to the other. I've been to several places in the last few days, and realistically, me going from Kubuleti to Batumi or Kubuleti to any other city within Georgia is fairly easy. And even smaller villages, places like Sopeli in Imereti, or places like Mukhora. I mean, Mukhora is a bit different and it's difficult to get there, but you can go up to Tqibuli or whatever else, and it's possible that you get there public transit. And this is somewhat different to most cities, as public transit is rarely seen in small cities with less than 10,000 people. But in Georgia, this is seen as the norm, if not something that shouldn't be proud of. However, in Georgia, there is a sense that you can utilize this to get just about anywhere. And while it is stuffy, and realistically there is a lot of issues, I suppose, with the public transit, in that, of course, it's not very comfortable. Other than that, there's really nothing that I can say that would make me think anything other than it's just convenient. And while, of course, for some cities you do need a car, it's actually helping keep down taxi prices. While in most countries you'll see that taxis are significantly more expensive than public transit, especially in cities where you cannot get transfers to a lot of cities. In Georgia, it's not the case. You can go across a city for just a few lari, and in Tbilisi, if you want to go from, let's say, Marginishvili to Sabartalo, it's not that expensive. And this is the real benefit to a public transit. You can get transfer pricing that is realistically very favorable, even when you cannot go to places, because there's other places nearby that you could go to by public transit, and then you are essentially able to transfer from there on taxi. So the totality of that makes taxis cheaper, it makes a public transit cheaper, or realistically it's the marshrutkas system, which is technically private, but essentially tax exempt, not by reality, but it's an under the ground, or it's an under the table system. So that under the table system, if you're not paying taxes and you are utilizing rewards on a card, loyalty card for petrol, you tend to get cheaper rides and cheaper places to go. And so, of course, this creates a very unique situation. And it's true of most of the former Soviet Union. I'll be going to Tajikistan here soon, and Tajikistan has, funnily, some of the cheapest taxis in the world. And this shows realistically. Whenever you go to Yandex or Bolt, you can automatically understand just how cheap these places are and these costs are. Of course, when I say cheap, cheap is relative, and additionally, some may not consider it cheap, but if you are running a business, realistically, if you are paying 20 lari to go from one city to another, then I would consider that cheap. Whether you do or not, I have no clue, but 20 lari is about $8, $7, $8. So you're looking at, let's say, $5 to $6 to go from one city to another, and that's in private transport. But it would be from a place like Goboleti to Batumi, which is 30 minutes away. So, of course, with this, you get kind of an interesting dynamic, and going through Georgia with this system, as I'm comfortable with it, and of course, I will continue to use it. But it's something you should definitely take a look into, and for sure, you should be looking at it from that lens, as even though many people won't need public transit if they're running a business, what it does instead is realistically keeps taxi prices low. It keeps people able to be mobile if you are looking at hiring, and realistically, that's what you need to look at when you're choosing a country. Of course, if you need help in going over all of these details and more, and additionally you're looking to hire in other countries, you're looking to move to other countries, I recommend you to click the link down below in the description. It's a Calendly link. You get 15 minutes one-on-one absolutely free. If you liked the video, feel free to like it. If you really like the video, feel free to share it with your friends. Of course, if you want to join me on this journey of internationalization and globalization, feel free to subscribe. This has been the Traveling Report, signing off.